welcome to my YouTube video. I'm Diana. And that's Kelvin and Kelvin. Well, today I'm going to be talking about how I found out I was pregnant. And I gotta confess y'all something.
I'm so pissed right now because I recorded a whole 35-minute video and I edited it and everything. And I just feel like crying when I remember.
Kelvin, come here, tell them what happened.
Que la estúpida esta lo eliminó.
I erased it, bro. Okay, so today, sorry about this. Today we're gonna be talking about how I found out I was pregnant, okay? So let's get started. Hey guys. Oh, okay. So if he cries in this video a lot, it's because he just got his shots earlier. Hey guys. Throw them some kisses. No? Yeah, that smirk though. I'm fat. I'm fat. Okay. So, Kelvin, help me. Tell them the story.
No.
Kelvin, no la verdad. Bro, you're rude. You're rude. Okay, let me fix this.
Fuck, man.
How that felt?
Good.
Oh, shoot, I'm recording backwards. Okay, so how I found out I was pregnant. Well, back to when I used to live with my mom, there was a couple of days that I was feeling like nauseous, right? So I went to the store by myself and I bought a pregnancy test. I took it to my house, I did it, and it came out negative. I kind of still kept feeling nauseous, so I knew I was pregnant. I didn't know why it came out negative. Maybe it was too early in the pregnancy. So then like 2 weeks later, me and Kelvin was arguing and I told him, excuse you. Kelvin, se vomitó. Here it is. You nasty butt over here throwing up and stuff. Okay. I am. Okay. So one day, I told Kelvin, we were arguing, and I told Kelvin that I had to go buy some stuff to the store. And we went, and I was walking through the aisles because if y'all know me, I go to a store and I'm going to buy one thing and I like fill a cart of stuff. So that's me. I was walking through the aisles looking at what I wanted to buy and I saw a pregnancy test. And I thought to myself, should I buy it? And yes, of course I bought two. And since I'm really desperate, I couldn't wait till I got home. I walked to the Wendy's that was in front of the dollar store because it was a dollar store. Okay, so I went to Wendy's and me and Kelvin sat down. And I told him I was going to go to the bathroom to do the pregnancy test. I told him I was going to go into the bathroom to do the pregnancy test. And I sat down in the toilet once I did the test.
No,
I just
really? In the toilet? Oh,
Nah, shit, really?
Really?
Okay, so, and I waited like 5 minutes because I couldn't dare to look at the test. Like, it's like, you know that feeling when you know something, but you don't want to, like, accept it? I knew I was pregnant, but I was scared to see that it came out positive. Really? Do it now. Ooh, that view though. Ooh, 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 ooh. Okay. So, it came out positive. And once I saw that test, I didn't even know what to do. I was so happy. There were so many emotions in once. Like, I was so happy. Can you stop? You take your dusty butt feet off my video. Stop. Okay. And I came out and like my eyes were kind of watery and Kelvin asked me what happened or what's wrong. I was like, nothing. And the test was inside of the bag. Stop. The test was inside of the bag. So he was like, what's wrong? And I was like, nothing. He was like, what's wrong? I'm like, nothing. Then he opened the bag and he saw it. He just looked at me. He just stared at me. And he was like, oh, I don't believe you. Do the other one. And I'm like, no, I'm going to do it till tomorrow. So I got home and I laid on my bed. He had left to his house already. And I was like so desperate because I told him I was going to do it the next day in the morning because people always say that when you're going to do a pregnancy test, it's better for you to take it in the morning, like the first time you pee. But I couldn't wait. So I got home and I did it. And it came out positive again. So I told Kelvin, I took a picture and I sent it to him and he was like, oh, I don't believe you. He still didn't believe me. Like, I did 2 tests and he still said it was not true. He couldn't believe it. So then he told me he was going to take me to a clinic to do a test. So the next day I went to school and I went to my counselor. My counselor sent me to Miss Bond. And I went and asked Miss Bond if she knew of a clinic that did pregnancy tests because I thought I was pregnant. And then she gave me the information and everything. And that day after school, I went and I did the pregnancy test. There was 4 boxes in the bottom. One of them said, I want to give an adoption. I want to have an abortion. I want to be a parent. Or I'm not sure what I'm going to do yet. And I thought in my head, let me ask Kelvin if he wants me to do an abortion. But I was in my head. I was like, I'm going to tell him that. But if he says yes, I'm just going to leave Kelvin and I'm going to keep my baby by myself. Because I'm not going to force him. The point was to know if he wanted it or not. So I went up to him and I was like, Kelvin, look, I need you to tell me if this pregnancy test comes out positive. I promise I'm not going to get mad, but just tell me. Do you want me to do an abortion? I'll do it if you want me to. And he looked at me. He was like, bro, shut the fuck up. You want me to slap you? I was like, okay. Apparently he wants the baby. So I went into the room and the lady started asking me a lot of questions. And after that, she gave me a cup so I could pee. I went to the bathroom, then I turned it into her. And I waited like 10 minutes in the room to wait for the results. Kelvin couldn't come in, so he was waiting outside with his friend. And when she came in, she asked me, what do you think? And I was like, well, actually, I think... Oh, meow. She said, what do you think the results are? And I'm like, honestly, I think I'm pregnant, but my boyfriend wanted me to come just to make sure. And she was like, oh, okay, well, congratulations, you're going to be a mom. And I was like, it's like,
I
every time I would remember I was pregnant, every time I would see like the ultrasounds or the test where it came out positive, I would get so happy, like so happy. It's like the best feeling ever. So after that, I came out and I told Kelvin, here, so you stop saying I'm not pregnant. And I gave it to him and he was like, I don't believe you. And I'm like, really? You already made me take 2 pregnancy tests and you made me come to the clinic. What else you want me to do? He's like, oh, I'm just kidding. It's like, I'm guessing he couldn't believe it.
In that moment, I actually thought,
Like, he didn't want the baby. Because, you know, when people find out they're going to be parents, like, they get so happy. Kelvin didn't even get happy. He didn't even cry. He didn't even say nothing. It's like he didn't want the baby. I thought he didn't want the baby. He said, and a couple of months ago, I asked him if he didn't want to have the baby or if he didn't want him. He was like, it's not that. It's just that I wanted to have my baby like in a better time of my life, like so he wouldn't need anything. Like he was
sad because we weren't in a good position by that time. We were like bad economically, like no job, no money, no
nothing, and he didn't want our baby to suffer. But now we're good. And he said that's the reason why he didn't get happy, like excited. And well, that's pretty much it. That's the story. Now, the way I told my mom and my dad, I was happy, but the only reason why I was nervous is because I didn't know how I was going to tell my family. The people that I was more worried about was my grandma and my dad, because I knew my mom, she wasn't really going to get mad or anything because she's that type of person. She really doesn't care. So the day I told my mom, we were riding the car. I was going to the store with her, and I was like, Mom, I got to tell you something. And she was like, what? I'm like, I'm pregnant. She's like, oh yeah, I already knew. I was like, what? You're not even going to give me a speech or anything? She's like, no, I already knew it. I'm like, oh, okay. So then the way I told my dad is I was working one day and I called him on my lunch break. And I was like, Dad, what would you say if I tell you you're going to be a grandpa or that I'm going to be a mom? He's like, oh, shut up. You don't know what you're saying. You have to have in mind that that's something really hard. You have to be really responsible. And it's nothing easy. And I'm like, oh, okay. You're going to be a grandpa. He's like, oh, stop playing with me. And I'm guessing he didn't believe me because like a month after that, I went to get my first ultrasound. And I sent it to him. And once I sent it to him, he went off on me. Like when I tell y'all he went off on me, he went off on me. He was like, oh, what the fuck were you thinking? You think it's easy? You just ruined your life.
I know parents, they always say that, but then at the end, they end up being their favorites.
So he's like, oh, I told you to be careful. I'm guessing he got kind of upset with me because I disappointed him. He always, like every time he would speak to his brothers and sisters or friends or anything, he would be like,
oh, my daughter's going to be something big, blah, 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 this and that. She's going to be a doctor. She's going to be lawyer. He would say, oh, she's going to be a doctor. She's going to be this. She's
going to be that. And now I'm a mom. And I'm happy for that. Yeah, that's kind of just... And yeah, that's pretty much it.
Channel.
Hey guys, that was my mom's story of how she found out I was in her tummy. Well, thank you guys for watching. Make sure y'all like, comment, and subscribe. And see you guys in my next video. Bye.